Welcome to the late live show here, Land Your Sports Betting Network, Land Your Bets Sports Betting Network. We are going to get it here. We've got the NBA Cup. I'm actually excited for it. I don't know if I'm just an NBA nerd. I know they've already got me hooked on it. I think the reason I like it is betting and points. Like, there's going to be points. Keep in mind, these NBA Cup games are going to matter through the lens of overs. The teams need to care about point differential, right? So if you need to make sure that you're not losing by too much and you want to beat teams by as much as you can, then you're going to be trying to score. And even at the end of games, you're not necessarily just going to give it up. You're going to keep playing to score more points to cut that deficit. Even if it's out of hand, you're down 20, right? You're still going to try to make sure that you can get a few more points and not lose by that much. So I'm going to be taking a look at stuff right now, showing my screen. I can give you guys a couple plays that I'm already looking at as well. So you can take a look at what I've got on the slate for now, on my card, I should say. I'm going to be sharing my screen, but make sure you jump into the comments with your bets and we'll get after it. I know that I'm late, so I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Let me get the bottom line scrolling as well. A few reminders on there. Got some updates on some betting promos too. If you guys don't have an account with certain books like Rebet or BetMGM, Sleeper is another good one. I got some of those codes for you guys. Just use code LYB when you sign up for anything. I'll have it in the links in the description of the video. But bring your bets, jump in the comments. One bet that I will say for right now, just to hand this one out, I think Giannis could get a triple-double tonight. I sprinkled 0.2 units on that at plus 500. It's not a great bet at plus 500. It should be more. But he did it twice last year with Dame out. I like the assist for Giannis tonight. I like everything for Giannis tonight, but really, I think the assists were priced really well at 6.5. I think that's gone. But Giannis, I'll put his assists under here. And like I said, if you're keen, a little sprinkle on the triple-double for Giannis tonight. I got the assists slash TD, which I'm putting 0.2 U next to the TD. So y'all know I'm not going crazy on something like that. But if he gets 10 assists, I think that's a triple-double. So anytime that you feel really good about two categories and you're confident in the third one, I think it's worth it. So I'm going to put that on. What's up, TG? Good to have you, man. Good to see everybody in here. We got the old squad back. Free Sauce in here. LaMelo shot 18 threes. Go see Mike. Yeah, they don't know what to do with these injuries. We still have so many bets. Jared McCain is a popular one on the Phillies. On the 76ers, who is somebody to eye, obviously, in these situations without Tyrese Maxey. I'll start putting some stuff on the card here. I'm going to go through what we had at the top, too. I know I was late, so we got some stuff going on. What's good, Alex? Goga. Yeah, we should be looking at Goga, right? Jalen Duren, I think he's fully back. So, I mean, I know he's playing, but I think he's fully healthy. I don't think he's on a minutes restriction at all, but we'll take a look at Goga. I stay liking Goga rebounds. He's a sort of under the radar player. I'll put him up on the up next. Is Capela stuff not up right now? What's up, Malcolm? Happy Tuesday, bro. Let's see. Everybody's on Capela unders. Yeah, I mean, I get the thinking there. Everybody's like, he can't score if Trey's not just lobbing him up something. He does score on some putbacks. And obviously in this game, like, I don't know how close it's going to be. So that's another part of it is I think we think everybody is about to be that's going to be a blowout is what everybody thinks. So, yeah, appreciate the heads up, Mike. Let's see. Yeah, right. This is the stinkiest bet of the night is what's up with the Jazz? Like, why were they even opening at 2.5? Because KD's not there. You think KD being out means that the Suns still aren't better than the Jazz? That's so stinky. I'm staying away. I'm not just betting the Suns blindly because they should win by 4.5. And that probably got bet up anyway. But what's up, Jacob? On the way to the Sixers game, gonna get Jacob doing some more stuff in the channel. I've been pretty swamped the last 3 days, but Jacob's gonna be providing some research for folks in the VIP pretty soon. What's up, Cody? Wants to look at Peyton Pritchard. Let me add Pritchard to the up next here. I'm gonna start sharing my screen here in just 1 sec, and we'll get it popping. LaMelo I like tonight too. I got him at a great price, so I don't like giving stuff out after the line moved hella. But LaMelo at 26.5 points for a minute was a steal. I believe it's mostly 28.5 now, right? This is an interesting dude right here. Let's talk about Hero. What's up, top MFer in here? I'm going to put up Hero because some mixed feelings. I saw some people in the free part of the Discord talking about Tyler Hero, and some people it was pretty split. So Embiid was pulled from the books. What's up, Mike? Always good to have you in here, fam. Yeah, Embiid was pulled from the books. I mean, I got to take a look at what's going on. If there's any kind of updated news on Joel's on his status, like, are they going to are they going to actually come out and say what the minutes restriction is for Joel? Would love to know that. I'm going to bring up my screen here and start sharing stuff, including probably just my Twitter account, so that we can stay on top of some of the updates that we're getting here. I'm going to share that here right now. Like I said, too, the stuff that we look at here, anything we get is going to be put on the bottom line. So if you show up late, which it's funny because I'm trying to tell people who are about to show up late where this stuff's going to be found, I'll have to remind them again. But bottom line has the leans that we've got and some of the bets that I'm already making. So we got one from Marcus Price. What do you think about Jay Clarkson points, depending on the book, at 12 or 13.5? Like his matchup against Phoenix, they're bottom 10 in defending the pick and roll ball handler and off screen. Also another bid for some LaMelo points. Yeah, I think LaMelo is going to do his thing tonight. What's good, Street Cred? Another one of the VIP cappers in there. All right, so we got Pritchard up here. Let me put Jay Clarkson up. We'll take a look at that Yaz game. Let's see. We got Clarkson. We know who I'm talking about. And then going to add a couple more. Just keep jumping in if you do have some, because obviously I'm only one man, so I'm trying to get to everyone I can. But if I miss you because I'm not looking at the screen, all good. See, you got Capela. I mean, I'll put Capela up here because he seems to be a pretty polarizing bet tonight in terms of people being on both sides of him either way. Kyrie under first quarter points. That's a crazy look, youngin. Wonder where you got that from. But we could take a look at it. Edgar, let me know where you got this 25 to 30 projection for Embiid. I'm going to bring up ETR because I know they came out about an hour ago now, so we should look at that. We got to look for Naz Reid at home. Bro, what's crazy, Free Sauce, is the Jazz are normally different at home. Like last year, their games averaged 240 when they played in Utah. They scored $120. They contributed to that. Then when they played away from Utah last year, they scored like 109 or something ridiculous. So this year, it's not the same. It's crazy. This year, they actually have more points on the road right now and are terrible at home. Complete inverse. But it's early in the season. I just think they're going to suck all year, to be honest. So let me put some Wolves up there. Because we got the looks for DDV, also known as White Dante. We also got Naz Reid. So we put Naz up here because Naz is like half man, half amazing. And DDV, also known as White Dante. All right. Here's what we got on the upcoming stuff. Feel free to keep jumping in the comments. Let me know what y'all think too. Looking at oh, wow. Yeah. Looking at anything that you want to look at, let me know and give me the look why you're looking at it. Like I believe it was Marcus that just kind of gave me a little bit insight into why he likes Jordan Clarkson. So that's a great starting point. In fact, because of that, we're going to start with Jordan Clarkson. Much appreciated from Marcus on the good look there. Let me bring up the right screen here for y'all and I'll share mine and we'll get it on and popping. All right. Pulling up my screen. All the tools I'm going to be using, they are going to be listed and linked in the description of the video. So once this is done, it's on YouTube. I suggest getting to YouTube. Go to the pinned comment in there. You'll find all the bets that we made in the show here. So that'll be where those are for all of y'all that come in late and go, where are the picks at? Well, the picks are on the comments on YouTube. So check that out. Let me bring this up. Also, the links to all the tools that I'm using are going to be on there. I kind of use Props Madness and Outlier.bet as my home bases, plural, for these bets here. It's kind of like the starting point and a good place to at least like find some looks. We use a few other tools in here as well to kind of make sure that we're not missing anything. At the end of the day, information is the key though. So any info we get about lineups and minutes and blah, blah, blah. All right, let's start with, like I said, Props Madness is going to be where I start by taking a look at Jordan Clarkson because of that good look from Marcus. Appreciate you, bro. So Jordan Clarkson, 12.5. And like he said, it's 13.5 on some books, it looks like. Just ESPN bet. So this is down to like 12.5. One thing to keep in mind, if you're betting on the NBA and 5 p.m. comes around, 5 p.m. is going to start. You're going to see bets move a lot at 5 p.m. Eastern every day when there's NBA hoops on. You're going to see those lines move. And here's why. This is called Establish the Run. ETR is what you hear people reference. This is behind a paywall. I don't know if they're going to reach out to me soon and tell me to stop showing you this on the live show because they put it behind a paywall and I'm just giving this out on free on YouTube. But it moves lines. That's why shit changes at 5 p.m. Eastern every day, is because these projections come out from them and then sharps and the smartest people betting basketball are taking that into account, including the books. The books know now, obviously, that that all of us are looking at ETR and using it as somewhat as a map and a compass. We believe that they know what they're doing. So we believe in these props that they put out. So for Jordan Clarkson, they put him out at 12.9. So it's right at 13. I doubt that move stuff too much, but maybe it was enough for some people to take an under on his points and push the line down. Or maybe the books just pushed it down after they saw this. Not totally sure. But Jordan Clarkson, they got at 23 minutes. I'm going to pull him up on Outlier. One of the benefits of using Outlier is going to be the ability to see his season averages and compare stuff against that. So for Clarkson, I'm just going to click on him here. If you don't have outlier.bet either, there's a link in the description for a free 7-day trial. So not really helping me out. It's just 7 days for yourself if you want it, because I'm in partnership with them. And then if you want to keep the platform after 7 days, you can. But like I said, no real benefit to me there. It's just if you want 7 free days of this stuff, you can check it out for yourself. I would say a good portion of the people in the Discord have gotten outlier.bet because they kind of just see the benefit of it. So you can ask some of those people if you want. They're all in the chat as well. But all right, Clarkson minutes this season. He's over in 5 of 7 at 12.5 points, right? And he's got one at 13. So 13.5, 12.5 is going to impact his hit rate based on where you get the book. I always tell people about the median number. I'll say it once more. The median number is often more important than the average number because it takes away the outliers, right? And so this 3-point game right here, it really crushes his average. How many minutes did he play in that game? 21 minutes in that 18-point loss to the Spurs. So the median takes away that the outlier bet here, right? So because this is the median number is 16, which means half the time he's going over 12.5 points, half the time he's going under 12.5 points. It's a very important number. I really recommend always knowing what the median is. And this is one of the few places that like really easily shows you what the median number is right next to the average. His average minutes is at 24. That's about right. And that's about what he's projected for tonight. He's taken 12 shots in 24 minutes, averaging the roughly right, like 16 points or so, 14 to 16 points. So at 12.5, if you want to look at the matchup, this is where Props Madness is a little bit better. We're just looking at his points right now. And if we go down to this stuff here, you can see play type analysis, which is wonderful because we can see what type of plays he scores the majority of his points off of. So he's scoring the most of them as a pick and roll ball handler. And this is what Marcus was talking about in his little write-up that he gave in the comments was this team sucks against the pick and roll. That's what this man does. Other thing you got to consider for Homie, though, is he's playing in the backup unit, right? So Jordan Clarkson comes off the bench. I don't believe he's projected to start tonight. Yeah, it's still going to get Keontae George, still going to be this. And I think, is Walker Kessler? Yeah, Walker Kessler's out. So that's interesting. So we don't know. Let me see what RotoWire. This is also linked in the description. RotoWire is really good for projecting the lineups and knowing who's going to be in that night. I don't trust RotoWire's projections. No offense if anybody from RotoWire is in here. I don't trust your projections. I don't think you guys trust your projections. But you do have a good understanding of lineups and injuries and people moving in and out of rotations. So respect to that. Because the starting lineup for the Utah Jazz tonight is looking like, okay, cool. Yeah. So they're basically putting Cody Williams in the starting lineup and Colin Sexton still starting. So you're still going to have Jordan Clarkson going in the back with the backups. 23, 24 minutes is probably what's right for him. I like this look as is. If we're talking about who the backup guard is that he's going to be going up against, let me actually just go to RotoWire. So we got Tyus Jones starting alongside Book. And then if we go to the backups, you're going to see, oh, yeah, he's going to be going up against Grayson Allen. That'll probably be his matchup on the backup unit there is Grayson Allen. Yeah, maybe Josh Okogie when he's in, but he's not going to be getting that many minutes. And then you do see Jordan Clarkson come in and play with the starters a bunch, which is good for him. So I like him as a look there. I would definitely not be fading him. They have him right at about 13 points. If you get this at 12.5 at minus 125, yeah, it's right on the edge for me. I think minus 125 is the thing that kind of does away with it for me. He's at 14. The edge is not quite there. Let's take a look at it real quick. I actually want to know what that number at minus. This is right on the edge for me. If this was close to like even money, I feel like I would be taking this. But I'm gonna pull up my baby model and just look at JC real quick, using this to basically decide if this is a bet that is worth it or not. All right, I'm pulling that up as soon as it decides to cooperate. You know this thing be taking forever. All right. So this is the baby model. We're putting JC in here with his points. JC points, they are 12.5. The over I know is minus 125. The under, I already forgot, is minus 105. All right, cool. So minus 105 is the under. I can explain a little bit about what I'm doing here, but just give me 1 sec. So I'm putting the odds for what his, come on, dog. This thing takes forever sometimes. Minus 105. Gonna need a new model. Minutes average is right at 24. His projected, his prop average, excuse me, is 14.4. So I'm taking his minutes on the season, his points per game on the season, and I'm just putting in the odds to see, is this going to be worth it? There's a few other formulas in here, but the things I need to put in terms of the prop average and then the projected minutes tonight, we'll say 24. It's like they had him at like 23.9, so it's still 24 minutes, which is right at his season average. And then the book prop under probability at minus 105 is about 49%. The book over implied probability at minus 125 is, I believe, 55%, but I need my handy dandy calculator to tell me that. This is a perfect example of a bet that I need to know if I'm getting good value or bad value. So we'll give it 56% here. The implied odds are just saying this is the percent chance that they're saying this happens. And this comes true. So the over has a 56% chance of coming true, but you can see it's a 7% edge because the odds themselves aren't helping me out. So if this was 10% or more, I would at least consider it. I would love this to be 20% or more for me to feel like I have a legit edge over the book's number. But I don't, not at minus 125. You see what happens if I make the over odds minus 105. And this is why you see me say I would play this up to or down to a number when you do see me say that. So at minus 105, the implied probability is what would we just say? 49%? Minus 105, 51%. Got you. My bad. So this should be at minus 105, it's 51, and this is 51. So now because this is minus 105, the edge turns to 17% because that price is worth it for me now. So if you're going to play Jordan Clarkson, I think over 12.5 points is a good bet if you get minus 105 or better. I don't think you're going to get that. Hopefully y'all were able to follow some of the hood math, but I'm going to put that on the bottom line. I'm putting Clarkson is good for over 12.5 points if you can get it at minus 105, which I doubt anybody is offering that right now, but that is what we're saying there. So anytime somebody is telling you that they are a sharp or they are somebody who can beat the books or they know what they're talking about, if they don't have a number that's playable too, then I don't care what they have to say because it means they didn't do the work to actually know if this is a good bet or not. That's doing the work to know if it's a good bet or not. So I wanted to see for myself if Clarkson was worth it at that number. It's not, but I would be looking at his 12.5 points if you get it at minus 105 or better. All right, Goga Bitadze. We'll start at the front of the line again. No doubt, Marcus. Appreciate you, bro. All right, cool. Keep it moving. I just want to check the chat for a minute. Yeah, there's plenty of free tools for sure. All the tools, I think every tool that I have that's listed in the description of the video is free. I don't have any paid stuff in there, but ETR is going to be a little bit more premium than most for a good reason. Brunson, I love tonight. I don't know if his props went back up because they went down for a minute and they went too far, to be honest. Yeah, still 24.5 points. That to me is crazy. Like, that's silly to me. I think he's figured out a lot of stuff. I really like the assists for him tonight. Those, yeah, it's even a better number now. 6.5, I think, is a good number for him. I like the points and assists. Those are still 31.5. I think that's a beatable number for him, especially with the assists in there because he's been, look at these potentials in the last 4 games. 13 potential assists, 12, 13, 16, right? So he's definitely seeing something a little bit more with this squad than he was earlier in the year. I think they're starting to figure stuff out. So I like JB tonight. I'd be going over on his stuff. All right, let me get to Goga. I don't know if I'm going to have much for Goga. Also, your Jared McCain props are up, Mike. And this could be a good look for Jared McCain. 10.5 points. Obviously, Embiid being back is weird, but, I mean, he's still going to probably have a 4th highest usage on the team would be my guess, alongside Kelly O and Paul George and, obviously, Embiid. But we don't know how many minutes Embiid's even playing. Looks like 25 to 30 was what somebody said. Let me look at the projections here for Embiid on the minutes going to Philly. So they have him at 28 minutes, but they do have him at 25 points. And it looks like they took the boards down because probably in large part because of that. Yeah, they're now at 8.5, right? And you got to take some plus money to get that. Is the PRA at 36.5? Still kind of high. The way that they have this projected is 25. This is 28.8 plus 8.4 is like 37.2, I believe is the number. So they have him going slightly over that. If you got under 40.5 PRA for JoJo, I'd say you're in a good spot. I'm not really looking to mess with that too much, but my bad. I'm supposed to be looking at Goga Bitadze. Let's look at the Magic game. And I like Franz. He went down to 23.5 for a minute, by the way. But Franz is shooting everything down low, right? He's going to be driving to the basket. He's been driving to the basket even more since Paolo went out. In the last 5 games since Paolo went out, Franz is like 6th in the league in drives per game. Just showing you where I found that real quick. This is really helpful. I think drives are really, really helpful to understand that. This is on NBA Advanced Stats. Just go to players instead of teams. Also, link in the description of the video. It's a pretty easy one. It's nba.com/stats. Not that hard. But you change this to from teams to players. And I want to look at tracking data. And this is where I can see drives, potential assists, under passing, rebounding, rebound chances. All this stuff is under player tracking under NBA Advanced Stats. So highly recommend looking at that. I wanted to see has Franz been driving a bit more. So in the last 5 games. So the way I did that was I'm on players tracking drives. I'm going to the last 5 under season segments. This little filter tool here looks like a filter. I'm going to team, so I can just make this the magic, or ORL is their thing here, right? And now I'm looking at drives, and 16.8 is a ton, and it's twice as much as anybody else is driving. He's taking 9.5 shots a game off of those drives, right? Not a very good field goal percentage on the drives, but he's going up against a Charlotte team that has no rim protection. They don't even have a center right now. It's Grant Williams and Taj Gibson, like whatever you want to do with that, right? He's not passing off these drives either. You can see he's taking 9 shots. He's passing less than a quarter of the time, right? A 6% assist percentage. Like he's not really trying to pass off these drives. So I think he's going to have a really good time driving to the rim against this team. I got a great number at 23.5, which looks like it's back on FanDuel at -130. So this has been fluctuating between 24.5, 23.5. And I think over 23.5 is a great, great value play there for Franz, who has got, since Paolo went out, there was this shit game right here versus the Mavericks. Right, he had 13 points in just 25 minutes. They lost by 23 and gave up at halftime. And then next game has 22 in 34 minutes. Another kind of blowout against OKC. Much better defensive team too than he's going to see here tonight against the Hornets. And then in these games he goes over, and then 23 in a blowout win because he only plays 29 minutes. So he's butting up against 24 points. Like I think he's very good for 24 or 25 even. If you can only get 24.5, I think both numbers are good for Franz. As far as Goga goes, the problems that I see, it's kind of like why I didn't end up taking Zubac last night. And a lot of people wanted to take Zubac PR over because the Thunder were starting Jalen Williams at center and Shai Gilgeous was basically power forward on defense. And like there was nobody big out there. Problem is like you can run those kind of people off the court and you can just surround them in a way that doesn't allow them to get the ball. They're not looking for Goga at all. So the points scare me to, I would, even if he's at this like 10.5 number, right? It's not, there's no edge for Goga on the points. He's not getting the ball. They're not looking for him. He's either just getting a putback or he's getting an alley-oop dunk, which I just showed you that Franz isn't really passing the ball. So it's not going to be from him. So for Goga, I'm just looking at the boards. Oh, they went down to 8.5. I believe they're at 10.5. So this dropped hella. And this is part of what I'm saying here is like Goga against a team that could run him off the floor isn't one that, because, you know, Grant Williams, when he's in at center, he's going to be pulling Goga from the basket to shoot those threes. The rebounds, though, at 8.5 is silly because he doesn't need more than like 22 minutes to get the rebounds. Now, he has been getting a really high number of his rebound chances, but if the minutes are there for Goga, the rebounds at 8.5 are a great look. I bet you this bumped the price, the number down a lot on ETR. I'm going to check their rebounds for Goga. They have them at 9. This was at like 10.5 though. So it kept dropping. It's probably gone too far now. So they have him at 20 PR. What is his PR? 19.5. I like the rebounds better, to be honest. I mean, those rebound chances are crazy. And I don't think he needs very many minutes to get those 8.5 boards. -120 for him to get it, and Pinnacle still has it at 107. I think that's a good look. I'm gonna put Goga rebounds on the bottom line right now as a potential look for that game. These games start right at 7. Yeah. So how many start right at 7? Goddamn, 3 of them right at 7. So I'm gonna have to make a decision on Goga for the VIP here pretty shortly. All right, let me put Goga on the bottom line. We'll keep rolling with a few of these. Goga over 8.5 rebs. I think that -120 is a fairly good number for that. So, I mean, if we have him projected at Goga, they have at 26.5 minutes. That's good enough for me to get the rebounds if that is what he actually plays. Last season, I just want to look at this real quick. So, real quick, in every game that he's gone over on the rebounds, he's played at least 22 minutes. And probably only played 22 here because they won by 27, right? So they've blown him out, didn't need him. won by 27 again versus the Pellies, played 27 minutes. And then 30 versus Indy and 27 versus OKC. Yeah, I think he's good for the minutes tonight. Last thing I'm going to look at is Goga last season, and I'm going to filter his minutes on the boards. I'm going to say when he played at least 20. Let's just start at 22. He plays at least 22 minutes, a little bit better, plays 27 minutes. Still not great, to be honest, but he's averaging 9.2 in this situation. So at least it gets you over. I think he's probably a good look. I've got him on the bottom line. I like the Goga play, so good call on that one. Forgot who bring it, but appreciate you. Let's look at Pritchard. I believe that was Cody that brought that one up. I want to take a look at Pritchard. Quick reminder: give that video a like if you would. It does help things for me a ton. Much appreciated, and we'll keep it moving here. All right, just trying to make sure I'm not missing any looks. Yeah, no reason. I don't know why you would take the A as well, like the assist for Goga. So I wouldn't be adding that necessarily. All right. Let's look at Peyton P, also known as Pusha P. 14.5, eh? Everybody playing. We're expecting a blowout, right? And even if we're not expecting a blowout, we're probably expecting Peyton to still get some good involvement in the offense. You don't really need much defense against whatever's left of the offense for, like, this is the starting lineup is Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Reese Shea, Matthews, and Capela. So they're just trusting Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels to run the offense is what you're telling me. That is what you're telling me, because they got Dyson Daniels at the PG spot. I don't love it. Good defensive squad, much better than when Trey's out there. I'll say that. With the good defender at point guard with Daniels. But if we're looking at Peyton P, why wouldn't he go over? Is the question we have to ask ourselves. He's still shooting a stupid high percentage from three. But even in this one, he still shot 11 freaking threes. Now Jaylen Brown was missing in that one. So it does matter that JB is back. But in the last game, 1-6, played 23 minutes. Fucking hot from three, man. It's crazy. You can't fade him. You cannot. You cannot. Only Ladbrokes says this is assist. Interesting. So you can't get much of that stuff. You can only get his points elsewhere, right? So I want to wait for some more of that to come out. But 14.5 is a pretty good look for Peyton P. Let's see what they haven't projected for real quick. Looking at Pusha P. Tell me that he doesn't look like the kid at school that was carrying around a black JanSport bag that had drugs in it, right? I say it to everybody, but like it needs to be claimed. That's why he's Pusha P. He's pushing. Peyton, though, 26 minutes. They only have him at 13. They got him making 3 threes. Interesting. 13 points in this scenario. Why? Why can't he get more than that? And I don't think we have Hauser or anybody like that, right? I'm looking for my backup white guys. Where are we at with those? I want to get some of those points in there. Drew's only at 11.5. That's crazy low. But once again, the blowout stuff, like they would love to give him and Horford probably a few minutes break there, the old guard. So yeah, I think Peyton's good at 14.5, but I want to wait to see a few more things. I have no problem with that. I mean, it's going down. It might be going up. So it's -115 already. It was -105, but this just came out, man. And with ETR's projection where it's at, I wonder if this is going to go down before it goes up more. So I got to wait and see on Pusha P for now. Let me keep rolling to the next white boy. We got Tyler Hero up here. All right, let's see. We'll look at I've sworn off the Miami Heat though. So for those of y'all looking for me to actually make a bet on the Heat, I'm on a strict no Heat diet. I do not bet on the Heat or really even against them. I don't like betting on the games they play in. They have no rhyme or reason to the shit they do. I'm fucking over them. So that's where I'm at with the Heat. But that said, let's take a look at Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero. Miami. Oh God, yeah, that's right. I just didn't even look at this game for a reason. Honestly, I did not even look at this game. I hate it. And we got Hero at 21.5. So I don't think there's any 19.5. Not sure if that was the look. But it's only 21.5 now. We're talking about Hero without Jimmy Butler. I get that. Last year without Jimmy. Let's do without. So games without Jimmy Butler. I'm gonna put the minus sign on him. Take him out of there and look at what he did. So he averaged 20.5 last year. He went over. Where I just scrolled too far. Where'd we go? right here. My bad. He went over half the time. That's kind of what I was figuring. I mean, Detroit's defense is not that bad this year. Let's look at a few things. So they are bad against the pick and roll ball handler. They're a good rebounding team. I guess they're worse than I thought. I thought their defensive rating wasn't that bad still. Maybe it got worse. Where's their defense stuff? Come on now. Oh, this is 2020. Okay, so in 24-25, he does have one good game against them, whatever. I'm trying to see D rating. Yeah, they're 14th in defensive rating. They're not that bad on D right now for Detroit. So I'm not willing to just be like, yeah, Hero's been hot lately. He's going to do it. 60% from the field, 48%, but 40% from deep, 56%, 45%. Yeah, he's still shooting pretty hot in these games that he's going over. And we're talking about actually some decent defenses. I just don't like betting on the Heat. I'm not going to waste any more time with anybody. I know that Jimmy Butler's out. Great. I just hate the Heat. I don't know what that like. Spoelstra could just decide he's not playing the normal dudes that we're used to. I'll take a look at what the Heat's projections are here, but I'm not betting on them. I'm going to tell you that right now. They have Hero at 21.1, right at his number. They got Bam at 19, right at his number. The rebounds, now that Jalen Duren is back, are still at about 10 for Bam, who hasn't been that impressive. I'm out on the Heat. I'm not wasting anybody's time anymore. All right, we looked at Jordan Clarkson. Let's take a look at Clint Capela. I mean, I would love to know the logic besides that Trey is not in for people. I mean, if you think Clint's not going to play because it's a blowout, that kind of thing, that's fine. But that's not necessarily just enough of a reason. I'm going to probably go for another about 10-15, by the way. So if you have any more bets, get them in there so we can make sure we try to get them in before I got to dip and get a few more plays in. I need to find an under, y'all, by the way. I hate not having a single under on my card, and I'm all overs right now. So I'm going to have to find at least one under before these games tip at 7. Clint, CC Capela, 9.5 is the points. That's what people have been fading more than anything, right? And the rebounds. I mean, he scores all his points off of assisted field goals. They're all down here. If you want to check that out for him, you can look at, we'll just go right here. We'll go players. We'll go general. Come back to me, general. We'll go scoring. So this is going to show me how they score. And what I'm looking at here as I filter this to Atlanta is I want to know how many of Clint Capela's baskets does he make that are not assisted field goals. So if we look at ATL in the ATLE, field goals made that are assisted, 76% of them. Very few people. Oh my God, Garrison Matthews cannot make a pull-up shot to save his life. He's at 94% of his buckets are assisted because he can't even fucking dribble. I love it. Neither can David Roddy's fat ass. I love you, David Roddy, but you are a disappointment. 76%. And most of these dudes rely on Trey. That's a big problem. Like, look at all these assisted field goals, right? Trey's got a 32% of his buckets are assisted. Everybody else is catching Trey's passes. So now the question is, will Dyson Daniels find Clint Capela the way that Trey did? Will Dyson Daniels even have the ball in his hands to the extent that Trey does? No, like this is going to be a different offense. I don't really know what to do with it is the problem. Like once you take Trey out of it, he's the sun around which everything just revolves. So he impacts things so much. So I don't really know what to do with it. I don't know what Quinn Snyder is going to do without Trae Young. Last year, he just had DeJounte just do what Trae Young did, right? So now he doesn't have a Trae Young impersonator. He's got Dyson Daniels, who is not a ball handler. He's a pretty good facilitator driving to the rim, but not a ball handler. Only 4 assists for him. I don't know how you get where did they put Clint? So they have him at 10.5 points. A little bit of an edge. I think they have him at more than 7.5 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he'll be getting very many boards tonight. What are your rebounds at, Clint? Oh, they do have him at 7.5. Come on, man. So I'd be taking an under on 8.5 if I could get it. I think that's a pretty nice edge. It's minus 135. I'm going to put that on the bottom line as a potential. If you see the odds for Clint Capela get down to a decent amount, I think you're in a good position to take an under at 8.5. His projected minutes tonight, I don't think 23 is about what he plays. So the rebounds are a good fade against a good team like the Celtics, who are not going to give up much. Points and rebounds, the best number I can go under on that is probably 18.5. Minus 125. That might be a better way to play Clint Capela is the points and rebounds. You get a little bit better juice at minus 125. I think that's a good look for him. I mean, he's averaging 17.7 in the season. I tried to fade him the other day. It didn't work. I forget which team it was against already, but he's been shooting a bunch of shots. I'd be fading Clint. I'd be going under 8.5 boards. I'm at least going to put that up on the bottom line for right now as a lean. I want to see which way those odds move in the next 30 minutes or so if they do. And if they move a little bit in our favor, I think I'll be going Capela under. So under 8.5 revs. And I do think that the under 18.5 PR is a good look if you want to get better juice, if that's what you have on your books. So, yeah, that's fair. Rebounds and assists under or PRAs, everyone's taking. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel the need to add the assists to Clint Capela. Like, they're so random. I don't know how to control that, but I like the PR. And yeah, it's a good fade for good reason. I understand why people are taking it. And the rebounds alone is enough. But thank you for commenting on my push a P. He's definitely got, a couple G's in his bag trying to sell you. All right, Clint Capela. I don't know, like I said, what to do with this. I don't know how Dyson Daniels is going to run this offense. I know Jalen Johnson's a very good player, and I know he's just as good without Trey, to be honest. I just don't know what he's going to do against this team with the way that this offense is going to run. So I'm staying away from most of the stuff here. Like I said, I'd be leaning to the under on Clint, regardless of if Trey Young was in or not. On the rebounds, the points if Trey was in, it's scary, but all right, let me see if I can get a couple more in here. Let's look at. I will look at the Timberwolves game in general. And looks like Mike D wants to talk about under for Josh Green. Yeah, Josh Green sucks right now, dude. I mean, he's not anything on offense. So, yeah. So for for Cade rather, like Cade his shit was real high when Jalen Duren was out. Like I wouldn't just be looking at his rebounds and thinking Cade's gonna do it because he has been. That's basically that. And I'm not looking at that game because I hate this game. Like I do not want to bet on the Heat. I don't want to bet against the Heat. I don't want anything to do with it. Jimmy, no Jimmy, Uncle Jimmy, Papa Jimmy. I don't give a shit. Like I hate betting on that team. God knows what the fuck they're going to do. Spo is do whatever he wants whenever he wants. He's smarter than most coaches, so he'll just change shit up at a whim. Let's see. Let me look at that Minnesota game for a minute. Thing is like you're probably predicting blowout. I think Minnesota's figured out their defense, and I know that this Portland team sucks big old balls. And I would say Anthony Simons is a decent fade. But the request here to start was with Naz, right? It's another thing with this team is like, yeah, Naz, if it's a blowout, he's probably going to play. He's not even really playing more minutes in blowouts, to be honest. He's still at 22 minutes when they beat Portland by 25. He got over on 3 of 5 threes, 55% from the field, though. It's real high, 57%. It's basically about the threes at that point for Naz. Like, let's see, 5 of his 11 shots are from 3. 7 of his 11 shots are from 3. 3 of his 7 didn't even make them. 7 of 3. So more than half his shots every game are from 3, right? So this is at least 2.5. Oh, there's a 1.5 here for Naz on the threes. He's over 70% of games. Wow, you can get minus 125 for the threes for Naz. Now we're talking a little bit. Spot up shooting against the Blazers. Doesn't matter. You can get whatever you want against the Blazers, but spot up shooting against the Blazers is a nice look, and that's what Naz be doing. So I like that. All right, decision time, because like I said, I got about 5-10 minutes, and I got to make these picks for the VIP Discord. Let me just get that. The link is in the description of the video if y'all want that too, so you don't miss the picks. Still up about 6 units right now, 5.5 on the season after a shitty start. Picked it back. Well, no, great start, shitty middle, great last 5 days. Yeah, Naz, I think if you take anything for Naz, you take the threes. Like I said, more than half his shots are going up from 3. You can get 1.5 for minus 125. The likelihood that he's in there decent amount today is pretty high against this team. I don't even know how much DeAndre Ayton is going to play anymore, to be honest with you. I think Mike Conley might not even be needed very much, which they're always down to take Mike Conley out when they don't need him at this point in his career, right? He did only go 2 for 9 against the Heat, but 1 for 7 against the Blazers. I would be fading his points. I don't think I'd be fading the assists necessarily for Mike Conley. Still hasn't been doing that either, to be honest. What's the points and assists at? Now I'm starting to talk myself into a fade of Mike Conley at 14.5 PA. Like, why would you need him? He played 18 minutes versus them in this game. When they're winning by hella, I mean, 20, he's right at about 22 minutes per game, right? So, yeah, I think he's a great fade. I'm putting that on the bottom line right now. I don't need to look into it too much more. It's mostly just about the minutes. If Mike Conley gets like 18, 22 to 22 minutes, we'll just see what he did last season. Last season, when he played 18 to 22 minutes, he still went over this. They didn't have White Dante, to be fair to me. And this is in blowouts, though. Yeah, he's still really good last year. I don't even know if last year was helpful, but I'm going to be leaning towards a fade of Mike Conley on the points and assists. Let me put that in here right quick. on the bottom line. For those of y'all that came in late, I know there's a lot of people since I last mentioned this, but all the bets that we are going through on the show that I do like, those are going to be scrolling on the bottom line right here. After we get off here in just a minute, I'm going to pin a comment on the YouTube video for this that's going to have those looks as well. So make sure you check that video out. Give it a like if you would. Obviously, it goes a super long way. And then if you do want to make sure you don't miss a single play that I'm making, got a link in the description of the video on YouTube as well. That takes you to the VIP Discord if you want to get in on that action. So that through WAP.com, whatever. But that's how you get all the plays. And then make sure you don't miss any on this one. I like Conley under 14.5 PA, and I can't get that at 15, can I? Nope, only 14.5. Best price, minus 115, minus 110 on MGM. Pretty good price. So I'm going to put that in here. If you get that minus 110, that might be a look. And that's a later game, so I have some time on Mike Conley. Let me see real quick about – and then the Naz lean was on the threes. I'm going to put that in here as well on the bottom line. Naz over 1.5, 3 p.m., minus 125. BetMGM was where I found that. So that's a look as well. I'm going to hit save on that. All that's on the bottom line. So we got Naz, DDV. I guess if I'm going under on Mike Conley, I am saying I kind of lean to an over for Dante, for White Dante here. He's only at 12.5 points, but yeah, he's not getting the 30 minutes per game that yet. I did predict that by December he would be playing 30 minutes a game. That was my proclamation for White Dante because he's such a good backup point guard. But he has not been as good as I think he could be. And he's buttoned right up against it. He's only at 10.8 per game. I'm not going to touch White Dante. And the other thing is, I don't know why we would give him the first quarter stuff. Let me pull up props.cash real quick. Props.cash does a great one of the best things that it does that really nobody else does on P.C is that you can go ahead when you filter things, you can get updated averages. So here's what I mean real quick. So White Dante. Where you at, White Dante? Minnesota, Portland. Pulling him up. So looking at first quarter stuff. So you can also split it really nicely by first quarter. So this is still going to give me his attempts, his minutes. He's playing 6 minutes in the first quarter, right? Coming off the bench about halfway through. He's part of the first subs, but not great. Like six minutes with 2.2 shots. Like I'm not really looking to be doing too much with that. He's not at 6.2 potential assists in the first quarter. That's crazy. What? No. First quarter averaging, was the call for assists for him? 1.1 assists per first quarter. There's no way that this is right. This potential assist has to be for the whole game. Let me undo the first quarter thing. Yeah, 6.2 is the whole game. So it's not actually updating the potential assist for us in the first quarter. I don't really like much of anything in the first quarter. The only time I'm going to make a first quarter bet is when I know somebody is playing the minutes that I can trust, right? So like, for instance, Jason Tatum playing 12 minutes in every first quarter. Jason Tatum is a guy to back in the first quarter. Now I'm wondering what Jason Tatum's first quarter stuff is. Let's take a look. Points at the whole game. It's actually higher than that. The first half, first quarter. It says it's at 7.5. Let me pull it up on Outlier. Outlier does a much better job of pulling through the live stuff, the updated lines, than does props.cash. So I'm looking at Tatum, and also Outlier has the first quarter stuff, which a lot of other places don't. So highly recommend. Once again, Outlier is the jam. We're looking at first quarter points for Tatum. We got that at 9.5. Ain't no 6.5. Fuck out of here. 7.5 is probably the best. FanDuel minus 128. So it's 8 points for Tatum. He's still averaging 11. He did not do this against Milwaukee. I would not be surprised if he's like, yo, let me come out, get my points, and get the hell back to the bench and get his 10, to be honest. Like, I might even just play this as 10 and not worry about even playing the line. That's going to probably end up being my play. I think 10 plus for Tatum was plus 162. Shit, just take the 9 if you want plus money. On FanDuel, it's plus 116. The 10 plus first quarter points for him is plus 162 on FanDuel. That's a great number if you can get that. So I would highly recommend playing that. I'm going to put that on the bottom line as well. I got a dip. So it's a great question, Rick Bob. Rick Bob wants to know if they would play Conley more minutes because of the cup. I don't think so. I still don't know how much teams care about this. I think they show that they care at the later parts. So just so everybody in here knows, like, keep in mind when these games get towards like the last of the NBA Cup games, they play like 4 in the regular season. when they get close to the end, point differential matters. You're going to be able to, I hit 2 awesome alt line bets last year where I took the Knicks minus 20 on an alt line that was like plus 285. They won by like 24 points. I took the Celtics minus 20 because they did it. So you can get these great alt lines when you know teams need to blow other teams out because point differential matters as you get into the end of these games. But anyway, yeah, no, I don't think that Conley's necessarily going to add to it. So let me put Tatum in here in the bottom line. I got distracted again because I got ADD, which y'all know about. Squirrel. All right, I'm putting Tatum 10 plus 1Q points. Obviously, this gets blown up if he doesn't give a shit, which I could see. But my thing would be he was questionable to play. It was a BS questionable tag. And now he's in. And so it's kind of like, I don't think he wanted to play. They didn't want him to play. That's what I mean by BS questionable tag, was that he could have played. They were just like, the Hawks don't have anybody going. Why would we play you? Trey's not even in, whatever. So I think they're going to play him limited minutes in the second half if they can. I think Pritchard's probably still good at 14.5 points. It would be crazy to me if Atlanta keeps this thing close. But yeah, I might even be looking at some Boston first half stuff, but I got to be doing me for a minute so I can get over to the VIP folk what they need and go from there. So check out the links in the description. Please give that video a like. It's much appreciated. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to be doing my best. I'll probably have tomorrow's slate on a video for tomorrow, not tonight. But check out the YouTube video for this video here for the live show. That way you'll get the pinned comment that has all the bets that we made, or at least the strong leans that I'll be clear about. And then it'll also have the link to everything that you need in there on YouTube. So appreciate y'all. Like I said, hit that like button. We'll be back tomorrow. Best of luck tonight. And until I see you tomorrow, happy betting.